talking about analytics. We're always curious as far as what's working in our business. What's our retention rate? How is average order value changing over time? What are our top selling products? Sometimes, Shopify analytics just isn't going to be enough for you in the long run. And you're going to have to upgrade from it at some point, especially if you've got multiple sources of information. You need one true place where you can see all of this in real time. And so I'm going to bring in Yasmin from Peel Insights. You know a little bit about this, I think, right?
Yeah, just a smidge.
Yeah, awesome. I'm really looking forward to this presentation because you're in a unique position. I'm a data nerd, and since you have hundreds, thousands of merchants like using Peel, you've got insight into that kind of like aggregately can kind of show people like what are the dashboards they like to use at, and then how do they make money from that? Because I think everybody here is probably like, I have data. I look at my Google Analytics. I've done something with it. But a lot of people end up just staring at the screen and then hoping more revenue comes in. And so I'm looking forward to your session the most because I think you can make us take action and understand how to interpret data better so that we can take those actions.
Yep, exactly. That's what I'm here to talk about. Thank you.
I'm going to add your screen. I'm going to move myself out of here and I'm going to let you take it away.
Cool. Hi, everybody. My name's Yasmin. And as Derek said, I'm a co-founder of Peel. Quick background, my co-founders and I used to work at a consumer tech company, and we, like everybody else, want to use data to make our decisions. And we just found it to be really tedious and time consuming and, all the things that everybody feels like, I love it, I know it's important, but it's taking me forever. So we set out to build Peel, which is a team's automated e-commerce analyst. There it is. It's an automated business analysis system for any e-commerce team. And we try to make it super, super simple. And as Derek said, I talk to e-commerce brands all the time, and we see all the different things that they're looking at and they're using to make growth decisions, or the things that they're curious about. So in this session, I'm here to sort of talk to you about how do I get actionable data? What can I do with it? And why is this important to me? So just to give you a little bit of background on Peel, Peel delivers data insights to grow your e-commerce revenue across new and existing customers. So there's tons and tons of reports that everybody seems to go after, and they're super valuable, but everybody's business has a unique, value set. And that's looking at those reports really can give you the idea of what can we do for growth strategies? What can we experiment with? What can we try? And just like anything, you sort of need to know where your baseline is, what's going on, and then you sort of build on top of it. So the pain points that we see across teams, and also when we were setting out to, tackle this problem that we were experiencing ourselves in our own work, but we also see teams have it also, is that you can't just do it all in a spreadsheet. Maybe Peel's biggest competition is a spreadsheet, but you need more than a spreadsheet. And good analysis requires some very technical expertise and time. And I would really like to emphasize time. So time is everybody's most important value. We all have 24 hours in the day, and doing different projects, it's always about how do we scale, and data analysis is one of them. Some of us know exactly what to do. We know what the formulas are, but it's tedious and it's time consuming. And then also tools need to be automated, fast, and smart. Like they need to be like a human, even faster than a human. They need to just be available for you. And then also customer acquisition is tied to understanding what's going on. So we always are trying to find ways that we can grow our business from a SaaS product like mine or from a D2C brand. And we need to know what are the key little data insights that could help us uncover that growth. And then on top of this, Shopify brands like you guys need really easy to understand actionable data. Actually, everybody does. Like we can read all those really technical blog posts about really interesting ways to look at these super high-tech analysis. But at the end of the day, we need to know, okay, what do I do with this and how do I do it? And this is the value. D2C brands grow by understanding their customers. All of us grow by understanding their customers. And automated analytics help us acquire higher value customers and also retain those customers. So when I think of data, I get a wave of emotions in my head. So some of us approach it, and when I talk to different customers too, we sort of all approach it based on our own mindsets of past experiences. Some of us are like, oh, I love data. I was into math. I was a math major. This is like, for me, I live for this stuff. That's why I'm a founder. And some of us are like, no way, I hate math. This was not for me. I'm a brand builder. I don't know what to do. And they get super intimidated. And so some of us go along through these different journeys of like, okay, I got this. This is easy. And they start thinking about it. And they break out into a cold sweat and it's really horrible. And then they're just like, I need it. And this is sort of like when I think of data or when you think of different projects, it's like, oh, I can do this. And then you get into it and you're like, this is really, really difficult. And throughout all this stuff, as you can see, there's the little alarm clock emoji. Time is passing because it's really, really hard. So I'm here to talk to you about, not to be like a doom session, but how do we get clean and actionable data so it's easy for you, so it doesn't become this emotional thing that you can feel like you have, you're super able to do or that you're intimidated by. And then we're going to talk about what metrics to watch and how to build experiments around them. And then segments. And these are where like the key little dollar bags are. Okay, so get organized. Everyone talks about data cleaning. It's a bit of a buzzword. And when I hear that, I always think of like a mop, and I use the broom emoji, or a mop of like cleaning your spreadsheets or like organizing things. And it's like very dramatic in my head. And I imagine that some other people do too. So I guess the best way to do it is when you're setting up what you want to look at or the answers you want to get, I think the most important thing is think about how you're going to consume the analysis. Like, what are you trying to answer? And then backwards plan and think, okay, how do I organize the data or my products, my discount codes, my customers, so I can get that information. So for instance, these are some examples that we have seen. Some brands might organize their products by the product name, the size, the color, but they only want to report on the number of sizes that are sold over a certain period of time. Then they need to utilize a way to just extract those sizes. There shouldn't be some data cleaning in the end. Same thing if it's like, I just want to know the colors, or I just want to know the category of these things that are in. Utilize the tools, and there's amazing tools in the Shopify ecosystem, hence this conference and everybody here, to like help you do these types of things, especially within Shopify. And we'll give you some tips later on of how to do it. So just really think about everything needs to be an experiment framework of, okay, I want to answer this question. So is my information organized in the way that I can get it? Because that's going to make it easy for you. And you don't need to have a super technical person come in and do it. You can do it yourself. It's available to you. The tools are there for you. And then when you think about marketing channels, we all want to know where our customers coming from, because that means that we'll put more money into those platforms or those channels. So set up the pixels, set up the conversion tracking, set up the goals and events in Google Analytics. Like set these things up so then you can be able to get, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's going on, instead of having I don't trust this type attitude. Because if you set up the foundation of it, then you'll get the end result. And the most important thing is that when we think about analysis, everything should be an experiment. So we get the analysis, we understand what's the baseline is, and then everything is like, okay, well, how can I move those numbers? And then you run experiments to try to move them. And having your data organized will allow you to do that. And you're already pretty much 90% of the way there by being on the Shopify platform and by using a bunch of adjacent tools. So here's some tips. We have seen that people can use discount codes as an attribution, campaign, affiliate, influencer, marketing initiative tracker, because you as the shopkeeper can give out a discount code like Cool News 10 to anybody that's a part of a specific campaign. And then you can look back at that specific discount code and say, okay, what's the repurchase rate of all these people that were acquired with that discount code? Or initially, how many people were acquired with that discount code? And I know that they came from this specific channel because I only use that code to track that channel. And that is super valuable because you are saying, okay, this is my snippet of information that I'm going to track throughout the customer lifecycle. I'll say, okay, the number of new orders came in from this specific campaign that I did. Now I'm going to look at all the repurchasing behavior of these customers. Okay, but I knew that they came in on that campaign. So then I could tie different marketing initiatives to be like, okay, you can come back and buy again, and talk to them about sort of their experience because I knew that they came in on that discount code, or that they were they used a code from a specific influencer. You have more snippets of information about where they came from, so then you can talk through it throughout their journey. And these are some examples of things that we've seen. Obviously, I'm not an influencer, but I pretend that I am with my discount code. If you use a Instagram campaign Labor Day, don't put it on every single channel, put it on one specific channel, so then you could track the efficacy of that channel. And this is totally within your control because you can set it up. You create the campaign, you also create the code, and you apply it to only one thing. That's like with any simple experiment. You also can use a discount code as a way to track if people are buying bundles. So that's a really quick way. So we've seen a brand use a bundle and save. So they'll have customers, in order to get the discount, because they're buying a bundle, you put the code in 2-pack, so that then they could track those customers and all the behaviors and purchasing behaviors for people who came on that 2-pack discount. And the same thing with upselling free shipping. You could use different codes. And obviously, the naming of the code is part of the branding exercise. But using that snippet of information, you could track so many different things, not just from the first purchase, but throughout the customer lifecycle. So that's a big, very valuable thing in your toolkit. The next thing is Shopify Tags. And these are brilliant. And I think they're underutilized. And so I really want people to use them and not to ignore them. And the reason is you can track anything you want with them. So Shopify offers 3 types of tags: customer tags, product tags, and order tags. And some examples that we have seen, which have been super valuable, are that, let's say you send out a survey to your customers to understand their preferences for a product. Or if it's like a hair care brand, and I'm making this up, it might be like frizzy hair, curly hair, dry hair, all those different attributes about hair or whatever it is. And you can tag your customers based off, okay, Yasmin, she has frizzy hair. And now you can then market different types of products to me because of my demographic of having frizzy hair. And so you can use that survey data that's separate from this and make a customer tag for it. And so now every time you can see and follow the behaviors of those people with that survey information, and especially with demographic data. So if you're capturing demographic data from a survey or from different initiatives, you can then push that through back into Shopify and tag your customers that way. So then you can build out tons and tons of unique segmented marketing programs to get them to come back and buy again. Another example is loyalty programs. So if you have all these customers that are part of a loyalty program, and we know there are lots of fantastic loyalty programs within the Shopify ecosystem, then tag those customers like that. So then you can quickly see, okay, these are the number of new orders from customers part of this loyalty program. This is the lifetime value of the customers in this loyalty program. This is the repurchase rate behavior. Or the days between first and second order is actually a lot faster for people in this loyalty program versus people who are not in the loyalty program. And that is how you utilize the tagging information to then tell the stories and understand the purchasing behaviors of your customers. And then honestly, unique one-offs. So unfortunately, like life happens, there might be a logistical debacle, or you might have run out of product, or anything. And there's tons and tons of crazy stories that we hear. So you can tag all those customers of being part of those different experiences, customer experiences, as a way to track them. So it's like, okay, we had this big snafu in May, and now we want to see, are what we did to try to appease our customers, is the experiment of like sending follow-up emails or offering a free gift or keeping in touch with them on a continual basis because we feel so bad about the thing that happened in May. Is that working? Are they still repurchasing at the same rate as other people? How do we grow as a brand from these types of behaviors? And so utilizing data and utilizing the tags to grow not just your revenue, but your brand and your customer support is extremely important. And you can use these components within the platform and then looking at data to then continue to make different decisions and build a playbook for how your brand operates in lots of scenarios, and not just in marketing. The same thing is with product tags and order tags. So we've seen people tag products by different bundles. So they might be a part of a bundle collection or a collab, and you want to not just track the individual product SKUs, but you could say, okay, overall, this is a part of this bundle. And order tag. So again, the ecosystem is really big, and there could be lots of attribution data being collected from other apps. And you can then tag all these orders saying, okay, this person came from this channel. This person came from this blog post. So honestly, the tagging is a blank slate, and you can use them to identify your customers and build unique segments of them. So then you can look at their behaviors throughout their lifetime and some of the metrics that I'll talk about in a bit, but then also just continue to track them. Okay, so buzzwords. Analytics has tons of them. Well, every industry does, but they're sort of funny that, I remember talking to my dad about something with LTV, and he didn't know it was lifetime value of a customer. He thought it was, I actually don't even remember. He thought it was something in the banking world. And it just is, what do these buzzwords mean? And we'll go through them now. Okay, so some of the things that you can do with understanding LTV, the lifetime value of the customer. And when you look at this type of metric, you say, okay, how much is this customer worth to me? And how valuable are they to our brand? And by knowing what that is, you can then figure out, what products do I show them in ads? Which ones do we promote? If we segment and we look at the lifetime value metric, and we segment and say, okay, these are the lifetime value of the customers who bought these specific products, we can see that product A has a better indicator for a higher lifetime value and repurchase rate than product B. And understanding, okay, these best-selling products, we sort of know what they are, but what's the actual lifetime value of my customers? How often are these customers coming back and repurchasing? How do we utilize the growth rate with these products so we can promote them and acquire new customers with them? So some examples are, people might look at the lifetime value chart and they might say, oh, well, we know this is one is super popular and people love it. But when they start segmenting by different products, they see that other products might have, some weight, and that they actually can use those to acquire new customers because they actually have a much higher lifetime value than they thought because they weren't actively looking at them. So, using the data and then segmenting it by products or by locations or payment gateway, whether they used a buy now or pay later method, can help you build campaigns to acquire similar customers, which is part of the whole acquisition growth rate strategy. And this was some of the things I just babbled on about. So what products are the leading indicators for lifetime retention and repurchase rate? And how are these product cohorts developing over time? So let's say we know that a customer came in and purchased a specific product, and what was the initial lifetime value of them? And then after 7 or 8 months, how much are they worth? And is it because they're coming back and repurchasing? Okay, this is great. So let me build more campaigns speaking about this product, trying different experiments to try to grow this type of customer. And you don't have to use just products on these lifetime value, retention, and repurchase rate metrics. You can look at the discount codes. So again, when I was talking about discount codes, if I'm an influencer and I have a really amazing following, and my followers really trust anything I say, so this we can show them the lifetime value of people who bought on with my discount code and say, okay, well, we really need to get this person to talk more about the product, or be a part of a specific campaign, or be a part of a Black Friday, Cyber Monday push, because their followers really find them valuable and the lifetime value is really high. Also, and I mentioned the buy now, pay later types of products like the Klarnas and Affirms of the world. If we acquire customers with that type of payment processing, do that lead to a more loyal customer? Peel can tell you that, or any type, just looking at the analysis. And other metrics to look at to understand how to build campaigns out of them would be the average order value per cohort, the growth rate, or the revenue from new customers. So just digging into all these different metrics to help tell the story of, who are my valuable customers? What are they purchasing initially? How often are they coming back and buying again? How much are they spending? What's their average order value? Okay, so let's use this and try different experiments. Another thing you can do is you always want to try to acquire high value customers. So if you know what people are buying initially, and if that leads to high average order value, you then can target similar customers in the future. So, and it's always helpful to know, okay, people bought this. Is my average order value increasing for new cohorts? And is it increasing for the repeat purchases from those initial cohorts? And understanding that breakdown can be really valuable for your different marketing strategies. So let's talk about this. So you can, what can you do with this information? Okay, so you know what the average order value is now, initially. Now let's try to do some experiments. Maybe we run a campaign where we give a gift and we're just like, okay, we want everybody to spend over $70 and they get a free mug or a free hat. And it's like a brand building exercise. And does that experiment increase the average order value that people on their repeat purchases are coming back and buying more? Or we throw in a free product, and you can look in your inventory and see what extra product you have that you want to get rid of. Try different methods to get specific cohorts to come back. And you can just pick one cohort. So you could just say, okay, everybody that we acquired in December, let's just target them. Or everyone that we acquired in December who bought a specific product, let's just target them. Let's send them a specific SMS campaign. So now the numbers are getting smaller and smaller, but it's an experiment to a specific group of people based on specific attributes and to try to get them to come back. And by having this baseline, you then can see, did this work? Okay, if it works, then we need to try this over and over again. Or it didn't work. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board and try something else. So using the data as a baseline to understand what's going on, trying different things on top of it, such as bundling different products or cross-selling different products, can help you move these numbers and build your playbook for retention marketing initiatives. Another thing to look at, some metrics that are helpful, are ways to optimize profit. So knowing what your gross margin amount is and your gross margin rate and when it happens is extremely important. And knowing what are the most profitable products. And again, let's promote these products, or let's get them back in a retention marketing initiative. Or looking at specific products and saying, okay, can we take a loss on this particular product for a specific campaign and then upsell them later in marketing? So again, an experiment platform, using this information to build out different activities to try to get your customers to come back and buy again. And this is all about retaining customers. So knowing, okay, what channels did they come from, and sending them, if you say, okay, these are all the customers that came from one channel, come back. Let's remarket to those specific customers and get them to come back. By grouping people into these segments, it's looking at what did they have in common. It could be the time of the year that they came in, the products that they bought, the channels that they came in, the discount code that they came in on, which could be, if set up correctly, related to specific campaigns, initiatives, events, etc., locations, payment processing channel, or different variants or products or SKUs. So having all that data available, you can utilize it to then get these people to come back and buy again. Okay, so I've talked a lot. The whole point of the story is that Peel has lots of answers and data has lots of answers. And you could, when you think about these things, you could say, okay, what cohort was the most profitable? What discount code is driving the most revenue weekly, monthly, quarterly? Where is that? And then you would know, where's that discount code related to? What event, what campaign, what initiative? What product is driving the highest LTV or the most valuable customers? Like, what is that? And how do we utilize that information to continue to acquire new customers and retain new customers? Another thing that people always want to know is, what is the average time between purchases? When do they come back? Do they come back 9 days, 13 days, 60 days? Okay, knowing that information, then I could use that window and I want to shorten that window, or that window seems okay given what's going on, but let me try different marketing initiatives during that to get people to come back. What is the lifetime value to CAC ratios for each cohort in the past 3 months? So this is like, what was going on with my marketing spend and the lifetime value of the customers? What's the relationship? Was I profitable? Did we reach a good balance of equilibrium that the past 3 months, the activities I did were okay and I should repeat them? And then are refunds and discounts too high? I have a typo there, but we have a cohort analysis, just like those other charts, where you can track refund and discount behavior. There's 2 separate charts to see, okay, were we giving out way too many refunds? And what was the behavior of it? And when is it related to what activities and experiments? And again, understanding that helps you plan for the future. And then this is a just quick slide showing some of the metrics that we have and some of the most popular metrics. Things that I didn't touch on in the presentation earlier are a lot of the marketing and analysis. So you spend a ton of money to acquire these customers, but one of the big values is how do we continue to get these customers to stick with us and buy more and more and more. So looking at the relationship of marketing spend and the customer acquisition cost to the repurchasing behavior is extremely important. And then also, if you're a subscription brand, you might be curious about, we sell subscription products, but we also have one-time purchase products. So how do I get more and more people to subscribe? And what is that relationship between the one-time purchasing behavior to the subscription rate and that whole cohort of people and that behavior? And what are my numbers? And then what can I do to get these people to become a subscriber or to reach my specific goals? And that is pretty much my quick summary of data analysis and what you can do with it.
I know there's a lot more we could dive into. I feel like we should make an entire event dedicated to analyzing metrics. So much more to go, but man, I love, cohort analyses. It can really like change things, and all the metrics that you talked about. Everything is, it's all amazing. So thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Awesome. If you guys didn't catch it, you can check out Peel Insights. We also have a link for them, ecomtech.link/Peel Insights. I'm going to share it here in chat. If you need better understanding of what's going on in your business, check out Peel.
Thank you.
There we go. Chatting it here for everybody. And with that, we're going to move right into our next session. Thanks again.
Thank you.